the shot. Go, Georgia Southern!
For kill once again.
Raymond Johnson, a huge sack in the final minute 40.
D'Angelo with the goal for Georgia Southern.
Eagle Nation, welcome to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. With Colin Lacey, I'm Danny Reed. Coming up this week, we visit with Director of Athletics Jerry Benko, talk some Georgia Southern basketball, and look at the renaming of the Eagle Fund. In this week's opening segment, brought to you by Optum Medical Center, we take a look back at last Saturday's victory over Florida Atlantic for Georgia Southern football, which began the final homestand of the regular season. Colin, the Owls flew north in December. It sounded weird to say that, but we had no other choice after this game was moved from September the 19th because of COVID-19.
In this crazy schedule, it was supposed to be the second game on the schedule for Georgia Southern. Then at times it was supposed to be the first game on the schedule. You really didn't know when this game was going to be played. Eventually, it's the second to last game in the regular season for Georgia Southern, and what a night it was in Eagle Nation.
It was a scoreless tie after one quarter as each team missed a field goal on the opening drive, but Georgia Southern quickly seized momentum in the second quarter. Caleb Hood fielded a punt at the FAU 49-yard line and darted towards the end zone for his first career punt return score. Georgia Southern took a 7-0 lead, and it's a lead that they did not relinquish the entire game.
In talking with Coach Lunsford later on after the game, he said not only was it so impressive what Caleb Hood did on that play, but the entire unit as far as special teams is concerned in the punt return. Having so many key blocks to spring Caleb Hood, it was really a team effort.
Alex Rayner's field goal in the second quarter made for a 10-0 halftime lead as Georgia Southern shut out an opponent in the first half for the second time in 2020. Now, Florida Atlantic got its only points of the game in the third quarter on a Vladimir Rivas field goal, but Georgia Southern was able to respond courtesy of some monster plays. New offense this week led by coordinator Doug Roos in his first time calling plays since 2015. Justin Tomlin took off for a 27-yard run on 3rd and 14, aided by the help of his offensive line, and he also hooked up twice in the third quarter for 65 yards with Logan Wright, completions of 33 and 32 yards. And then early in the fourth, it was Logan that did it himself, a 5-yard touchdown run for a 17-3 lead.
And it was so good to see how efficient the offense was for Georgia Southern, being able to sustain drives pretty much the entire ball game. You talked about new offensive coordinator Doug Roos at the helm. Between the adversity of having the new offensive coordinator take over on Sunday of last week, then having Justin Tomlin named as the starting quarterback for that game after Shai Wertz was deemed not able to play for Saturday. Being able to have so much adversity yet still be as efficient as this Georgia Southern offense was pretty impressive.
Tomlin carried the ball 20 times, a career high for 78 yards, making his third career start, but his first since last September at Minnesota. Now, the Eagles did add one more field goal from Alex Rayner and shut down the Florida Atlantic offense from there, giving up just 322 total yards. Final score in the first ever meeting between the teams, Georgia Southern 20, FAU 3, as the Eagles improved to 7-4, finishing up the non-conference portion of their schedule. And Colin, knowing what we're going to talk about in the final segment, that seemed like a very important occurrence.
Without a doubt, and we've talked about what Florida Atlantic really brought to the table out of Conference USA, and being able to do that against the Conference USA team was pretty impressive for the Eagles.
Now remember, FAU was 5-1 coming in, but 5-2 they left Statesboro. We come back from this timeout, we'll take a look at the newly renamed Irk Russell Fund. That's after this, when Blue White Weekly continues.
It's back, the return of the prestigious Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, honoring college sports excellence across all competitive divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow along with L Directors Cup on Twitter or online to see which schools will be taking home a first place trophy in June for their season-long success. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, a premier institutional award jointly launched in 1993 by USA Today and NACDA.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Santa knows a gift when he sees one. Ford, built for the holidays. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus $2,000 trade assist cash on top of what your eligible trade is worth on 2020 Ford Fusion, Explorer, and Expedition.
Hi, I'm Paul Newman with Statesboro Real Estate, the broker and owner, also co-owner of PMG Rentals, which is a property management company. As a Georgia Southern graduate in 2005, I got into real estate fresh out of school and was excited to have the opportunity to be the official real estate agent of Georgia Southern Athletics. I would say what sets me apart is the drone and online marketing presence that Statesboro Real Estate has to offer. Statesboro is such a small town and just has a really cool feel to it, and it's neat to see somebody at the grocery store or at the ball fields and know that you've helped them in the past and have the opportunity to continue to help them pursue their dream home. PMG Rentals is a great value adder to Statesboro Real Estate for the fact that if you're a renter, we can show you houses to buy in the future, and also if you're an investor, you can purchase with us and then lean to PMG as your property management for the future. Whether you're looking to buy an investment property, have it professionally managed with PMG Rentals, buying your first home, or buying your dream home, make sure you call Paul.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. The Georgia Southern Athletic Foundation funds athletic scholarships through generous donations for what used to be known as the Eagle Fund. But in this week's edition of a Georgia Southern story presented by Ford, that Eagle Fund now goes by a new name, named after the original bald eagle, the man who started it all.
Yeah, when we first got here with the staff, we talked about, what embodies, Georgia Southern athletics. Not just football, but every program in our department. When you look at the qualities that he embodied, the blue collar, the servant mindset, the do-right culture, I can go on and on and on. And so really, he embraced in totality what we want our department, our student athletes to embody and live out every day. And so a better way to recognize Coach Russell than to rename our annual fund for him that represents annual giving for every sport on campus.
We were all baptized in beautiful Eagle Creek with his do-right culture and GATA attitude, and certainly his persistent just one more time approach to everything.
Oh wow, he means everything. We were talking about traditions, we were talking about yellow buses, but man, nothing, none of that would have even been possible without Coach Russell.
The lore and the history of Irk Russell and what he did for that program really just paved the path for all of us that coached there. Having the opportunity to coach at Georgia Southern and be able to say that I wore those same colors and walked in the same shoes with a legend like him, really incredible.
That was a right recognition for us and really ultimately becomes our North Star. Because if you think about his time here and when he got here to where Georgia Southern is right now, there's absolutely no one that would argue that he's largely responsible for that. And so to me, when you think about our North Star and who we're going to make sure our values and you look at our alignment going forward, it's going to be around his principles, which if you think about our Russell Fund, we look at the various membership levels, they're all part of his sayings or mantras that he had as a coach here.
He was the integral part of what made us go. He was able to pull all the people together, and I don't think anybody else could have pulled all the entities together at one time. He pulled the players, then he pulled the community, then he pulled the schools.
He's now a storybook figure. And what's funny about it is, you start hearing those tales, you start hearing those legends, but it's true because you just see how much former players, you see how much this community, you see how much this university really loved Coach Russell. So he means everything to the program.
And so we're going to make sure that he's in the forefront of everything we do, and the annual fund is the lifeblood of our department. It provides scholarship dollars for our student athletes. It provides opportunities to expand our programming and facilities here on campus. And so what better out-facing way than to recognize our annual fund through Coach Russell.
After this timeout, we take a look at Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball when Blue White Weekly continues.
What's important now, more than ever, is making sure you are connected. Bullock Solutions is Statesboro's partner in high-speed internet, phone, and smart home technology with residential and commercial solutions. We continue to move forward and are here to get you connected.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
What's important now, more than ever, is making sure you are connected. Bullock Solutions is Statesboro's partner in high-speed internet, phone, and smart home technology with residential and commercial solutions. We continue to move forward and are here to get you connected.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford. Go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. Talking Eagle basketball this segment, we begin with Georgia Southern women's basketball. In college so far, year 2 under Anita Howard has begun with a 1-2 record.
As you mentioned, 1-2 record for Georgia Southern women's basketball, and you've got a lot of new faces entering this program. A week off, a little bit more than a week off actually, between games. Last game last Thursday against the Furman Paladins at home. The next game will be in just a little bit, a 12 noon tip-off against Coastal Georgia inside Hanner Fieldhouse before Georgia Southern football hits the gridiron against Appalachian State later on in the evening. But when you look at this Georgia Southern women's basketball team, so many new faces. You look at Itiana Galden leading the way for Georgia Southern women's basketball through 3 games with 13 points a game. New faces like the walk-on Eden Johnson really producing for Georgia Southern down low, and Shondell Vickers almost averaging 10 rebounds per ball game has really been a big key for this Georgia Southern women's team.
And meanwhile, for Georgia Southern men's basketball, last Saturday they hit the road for the first time this season to Spartanburg to take on USC Upstate in a game that was scheduled only days before. They were behind by 9 points at the under 12 in the second half and still behind by 6 with under 90 seconds to play. But the Eagles finished the game with a 10-1 run. 8 of those points were scored by the junior Caden Archie. His driving layup with 1/10 of a second left and ensuing free throw made for a 72-69 win over the Spartans. Now the Eagles are currently currently in the midst of a 3-game and 5-day stretch. Last night they played Davidson up in North Carolina. Tomorrow they host Mercer at Hanner Fieldhouse for a 6 o'clock tip. And then Tuesday, Carver comes to town. That game is at 7, and you can listen all across the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Coming back from this timeout, we'll take a look at this week's Coach's Corner with the head coach of the Georgia Southern Athletic Department. It's A.D. Jared Benko when Blue White Weekly continues.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
Santa knows a gift when he sees one. Ford, built for the holidays. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus $2,000 trade assist cash on top of what your eligible trade is worth on 2020 Ford Fusion, Explorer, and Expedition.
The great thing about joining the Sun Belt for Georgia Southern was, that opportunity for our guys to go experience bowl games. They're able to fight for a conference championship each and every year, and then have the opportunity to go finish the season off with a bowl victory.
Our team recreated each moment in a way that honors the story and retells the story for many generations to come. From the beginning, we've always just wanted to build something that honored Georgia Southern, and they'll stand the test of time.
At Georgia Power, our customers are at the center of everything we do. We're investing in technology to increase the resiliency of our power grid, expanding our infrastructure to shorten outage and repair time, and providing a cleaner, more diverse fuel mix with solar and nuclear energy. We're working hard to keep energy at a cost 15% below the national average, while maintaining the highest levels of customer service and satisfaction. With reliable energy, the future is in your hands.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back on this week's edition of Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. A little bit different spin on Coach's Corner this week as we step into the office of the Director of Athletics, Jared Benko. And Jared, you talked a lot about when you first got to Georgia Southern that becoming a Division I athletic director was something you had always dreamed of. Yeah. Now that you've had opportunity to kind of look back on your first 8-9 months here at Georgia Southern, now that the dream has become a reality, what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been surreal in a lot of ways. A lot of people think it's been defined by COVID, and that's obviously had a big part of it. But more than anything, it's anytime you have a chance to fulfill a lifelong dream. It's been as better than I could imagine despite COVID. And so I'm excited about that we have a great staff, great coaches, and our student athletes we're really proud of. And so our best days are ahead. And so we've talked to our staff about, instead of using this as a setback with COVID, this is actually going to launch us into the outbound years. And so we're really excited about that.
The last couple of weeks as well, basketball's gotten started up, both men's and women's. What's the excitement around both of those programs?
Well, it's really exciting. You think about, I'll take the men first with Coach Berg. And anytime you hire somebody, there's a special bond with that person. And I think one of the things that really sticks out to me with, with Coach Berg is from day one, he's been unflappable in terms of what he expects for the program. Really excited about the men's program. Their best days are ahead. And the same thing goes for women's basketball. Obviously with Coach Howard here, was a first-year coach last year. She's excited. We got a great transfer from Arkansas. And so I would look for both teams to really start to excel down the stretch.
One of the things that you talked about a lot, and one of the things that stuck out the first time you and I spoke, was the emphasis that you put on everybody pulling on the same side of the rope. And at the time, I don't know that you knew how important that was going to be with COVID and everything happening in the next couple of weeks, but how important has that been for Georgia Southern athletics to have everybody pulling on the same side?
Well, it's important regardless of the size of the university. And so Dr. Marrero is a visionary leader. He's someone that I hold a great deal of respect for, have a great working relationship with him. So when you have that alignment at the top of the institution on down, that's huge, because sometimes people think, well, it's just only about money, it's only about head count, whatever the case is. Actually, alignment, I would argue, and culture are two of the most important things. And so to me, it makes this place special, and it really is, I think it's a calling card of where we're at right now.
You talk a lot about how the best days are ahead for Georgia Southern. What's the next step that you look for this athletic department to take?
So a couple things. One obviously is we have outward-facing key performance indicators, and so a lot of those are going to be related to performance on and off the field. Academically, we had a record-setting GPA last year. Can we beat that this year? And we're on track. I hope to do that. We're going to continue to find ways to make sure we put people in positions to be successful and make sure we maximize their talent, and hopefully we'll help them accomplish their dreams and aspirations. The piece that's been a big focus on ours is philanthropic giving, particularly as it relates to two new projects we have coming, which is the Convocation Center. And then we also have an indoor facility as well that we're going to wrap up the pre-plan, and we'll have a chance to kind of walk through that, I'm sure, hopefully at a later date, of how that impacts positively all 17 sports here on campus. And the best and the biggest thing that we're doing, in my opinion, is hopefully trying to reconnect with Eagle Nation and bring people back in the fold. Whether they've been away for a while, whether they've been disjointed, whatever the case is, we want everybody to know that they're important, whether it be here in Bullitt County all the way up to Atlanta and across the southeast in the country.
Jared, appreciate the time. Can't wait to see what's along the horizon for this program.
No, sounds great. I appreciate it. Hail Southern, GATA.
Once again, that's Director of Athletics Jared Benko, and we'll continue with more Blue White Weekly right after this.
This is it. This is the day we worked for. All the months of preparation, all the hard work. Blue collar, discipline, toughness. That is what has led to this moment. There are people out there that tell you you can't do it. But what do we say to that? GATA! They will tell you you're not fast enough. They'll tell you you're not strong enough. But what do we say to that? They will tell you you can't have it, you don't deserve it. But what do we say to that? Get after those assets.
So you'd like to open a checking account today?
Santa knows a gift when he sees one. Ford, built for the holidays. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus $2,000 trade assist cash on top of what your eligible trade is worth on 2020 Ford Fusion, Explorer, and Expedition.
As a farmer, half measures never measure up. You put in late nights and early mornings. There will be new challenges. So you adapt, learn, and endure. As a farmer, you put a part of you in everything you do, in what you plant, what you raise, and what you build. Case IH, built by farmers.
Greetings from Vive Country, your new crazy fast neighbor, now in 16 states. We're thrilled to be your home and business internet, phone, and TV provider. From cutting-edge technology to excuse-free customer service, we're committed to our local communities. We've been working non-stop upgrading and enhancing our fiber-based network that delivers speeds up to 5 gig internet. We believe in faster speeds, community involvement, and 100% customer satisfaction. Join Vive Country today at vivebroadband.com.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look into Georgia Southern athletics. Presented by Ford, go further. Georgia Power, a Southern company.
Welcome back to Blue White Weekly, your weekly look inside Georgia Southern athletics. Time for this week's football opponent. It's the final game of the regular season right here at Allen E. Paulson Stadium, and it's an extended version of Hate Week. Now, we have to say extended because this game is usually played on a Thursday night, but because of a COVID postponement from earlier this year, Georgia Southern Appalachian State is back on a Saturday night for the first time in 7 years, coming up later on this evening, 6 p.m., we'll be on the Georgia Southern Sports Network starting at 4 with the Eagle Tailgate Show as Georgia Southern tries to finish the regular season with an 8-4 record and, Colin, more importantly, trying to beat App for the third consecutive year.
If there was anything else that you could add to this rivalry, you mentioned it, the third straight time for Georgia Southern possibly beating Appalachian State, but you just add a little bit more when it's on a Saturday night in Statesboro under the lights here at Allen E. Paulson.
2018 here at Allen E. Paulson, 25th ranked Appalachian State came down from Boone, ranked for the first time ever. It lasted 1 week. Georgia Southern clobbered the Mountaineers 34-14. Last year up in Boone, Georgia Southern had not won on the Rock since 2007. App was 20th in the country, highest ranked team at that point in Sun Belt history. What did the Eagles do? Another upset, 24-21 the win. This marks the first time in nearly 20 years that Georgia Southern has defeated the Mountaineers in back-to-back games, and they have set the script by following it to a T. When you play App State, you've got to hit them early, and you have to keep hitting them until the game is over.
You talk about all the history with Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, and obviously it goes back to the SoCon days. But when you look at what this game usually means, it's usually for the top spot in some standings. In the last couple of years, it's meant who is going to be atop the Sun Belt Eastern Division or the Sun Belt Conference when Georgia Southern and Appalachian State both made the move to the SBC. In years past, in the SoCon days, it was who was going to be number one there for a while in the national rankings as far as the FCS is concerned. But now it's a battle of who is going to take over second place in the Sun Belt East.
Yeah, it might be a little bit different simply because this one is for the rivalry. It is Hate Week because neither team likes each other, but there is such a respect shared between the teams, the programs, the athletic departments, the fan bases. 9 combined 1AA FCS national championships. There was a stretch 15 times in 16 years. One of these two won a SoCon title, and most of the time one had to go through the other to get it done.
And you hear so many iconic calls from both Georgia Southern and Appalachian State where somebody knocks off number one to take over number one. And being able to have that part of the history be a part of this rivalry is such a big piece.
App State quarterback Zach Thomas is one of the best in all of Group of 5, 30-6 record in his career. 2 of those losses have been against Georgia Southern. He had to throw a career-high 51 times last year up in Boone in the rain, the wind, and the snow, and he completed only 25 of those. His receivers didn't help him. They dropped 7 passes in that game on that Thursday night up at Kid Brewer Stadium. Meanwhile, for the Mountaineer defense, it's another 3-4 scheme. It's their third defensive coordinator in 3 years, but this is a guy that knows that maybe better than anybody else that could be in this position. Dale Jones was an assistant for 23 years before going with Scott Satterfield to Louisville in 2019, but now he's back in Boone running this unit.
And for a guy that knows what Appalachian State is all about, you look at their first-year head coach and Sean Clark, a lot of the same when you talk about both defensive coordinator and head coach being on the same page of what being black and gold means, and especially what the rivalry with Georgia Southern means.
Can't wait. Coming up in hours right here at Allen E. Paulson Stadium to conclude the regular season. Georgia Southern, Appalachian State kicking it off at 6 p.m. on ESPN3. You can listen to us on the Georgia Southern Sports Network starting at 4 with the Eagle Tailgate Show. Thanks as always to the fine folks at the Multimedia Development Center for their outstanding production work. For Colin Lacey, this is Danny Reed. We'll catch you next time on Blue White Weekly.